My eyeballs are steaming. Where's the camera? I used to look in mirrors like that. My grandparents always lived in these big like houses, and they had these mirrors that you line them on and they just go on, and then I'd get freaked out because the boogeyman was gonna get me. A boogeyman was my grandpa. Evidently, you're not supposed to play strip poker with your granddaughters when they're 2 and 3 years old. I always thought it was peculiar that I won. You born into one of those weird families? I was. I'm the product of not being nurtured. This is what happens when people are left to nature of their own devices. So I want to help cultivate an environment where babies, little beings that are born to this earth, aren't born into such a scary environment. Is that too much to ask? It's been over a year. There's no word on Emily Pike. Doesn't mean I don't think about that girl every day and all the other little babies that get taken by gross. It's wearing on me. It's Pisces season. I always have a hard time in Pisces season. God, I always cry a lot. Then I get sick. When I get sick, it's Pisces season because I can't breathe with all the fluid in my lungs. I don't make a very good sick person. I just want to feel better. And I do all the things to feel better, and then it's like, no, not today, maybe tomorrow. So let's take a look at some stats today, since people are so into numbers and stuff. I've had a headache for days. That's wearing on me too. I don't even want to know what the stupid sun's doing. I'm just like, get off my jock, bitch. So, my birth chart. Let's look at my birth chart. I haven't looked it up in a while. Sometimes I pay people a few $100 just so I can hear their interpretation of me. They always they always have me fall flat because my life is far more remarkable than they've ever given me credit for. So, it's just another racket. It's just more people asking for money, and money ain't real. Okay, so when was my birthday? April. I'm a 4-9er. 4-9er? That's my birthday. I hate football, and all the people that like the 49ers, it just make my third eye twitch. April 9th. You could predict what they're going to be in the future. Like, you could put in a random time and date and see how that person that's born in 2035, what the energy potential is going to be. Astrology is so weird. I have Chiron in Aries. It means I get ignored a lot. And it's hilarious because they didn't even they didn't even figure out what Chiron was until 1977. And I was born in 1974 at 11:01 a.m. in San Bernardino, California. I don't have any secrets. The military has been collecting my DNA my whole life. I have no secrets. I've always been surveillance. That's why I don't think thoughts that I don't want other people to know about it. It's just a no-brainer. I've been in IT for decades, and if you don't want people to find out about your behavior, don't do the bad behavior that you don't want them to find out about. My face is changing again. What are we at? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, because every 7 years, your body is a different version of what it was 7 years prior. So we're not even the same people we were. So people that are mad at their parents about shit that that happened when you were a kid, that's the dumbest bullshit in the world. I don't like my dad because he's still a scumbag. That's why. Okay, so let's see. I got so much Pisces. I got 7 degrees Pisces in Jupiter. I was born with. And then I got Venus in Pisces. That's why I always have piles of snappy colored clothes everywhere, because of my Pisces Venus. And then that's 3 degrees. And then I got 27 degrees Pisces and Mercury, for the love of God and all the things that are good and holy in this world. If other people are drowning, I get it. So many people are killing themselves. I've been talking about that. I started doing these videos 10 years ago. And I'm like one of those, like, I see people's behavior. I see how they act in tangible ways. Like, they're going to do this, and then over here, they're setting it up to make this person behave a certain way by manipulation. Because I was born into it. I was supposed to be one of those witches, but God said, you don't play with people's free will. You want the best for everyone. You don't put love spells on people and make people like you when they don't. It's manipulation. It's not my concern what people think about me at all. I'm just a weirdo in the world. You know, I actually, when I went to Creed in 03, I was thinking about this. Like, I probably would have gotten to the point that I wouldn't have believed anything that happened. And I would love to find out what I don't know what, I was like on a different planet for 40 days. All I did was I went to work and there was airplanes and and then the Marines came and then they went and did what Marines do and then they brought them back and then those men lost their minds. They left their minds on the battlefield. Because what people don't understand about what war does, it turns guys on. It, like, physically stimulates them. And if they've been programmed to be stimulated like men of America have because of entities like Pornhub and all this weird shit. Like we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So the world of chasing sensation has just gone to biblical levels because people just let themselves get gross. They let themselves do the things that creepy people do. And they don't think that they're creepy because they just surround themselves with other people that do creepy things. And so they all support each other in their perversion. I saw this morning that the New York Times, evidently, it's like they're promoting the sickness of love with children, and that is I almost vomited. Like, this is the direction that they're perpetuating it. They're doing the same free love bullshit back in the 50s or 60s, 70s, and what'd that get people? A bunch of people dead from AIDS and shit. Like, stop fucking for a while. Maybe if the whole world just kept it in their pants and stop living this external experience, that maybe things would get better. But I'm the prude. I'm the asshole because I'm not into fucking butt stuff. And America's built on butt stuff, in case you haven't heard. See, I was born with thunder in my heart. That's what I called today's talk. This is for the people that have thunder in your heart. If your heart just goes, yeah, deep, and you have to go to a mountain and ski down a hill to get it to go bleep, 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 bleep. Or you got to sit in a movie theater or sit there with your controller or do all this bullshit to get this to go like that. And you don't make your environment ever better. And your generations of your family haven't making the world better for all this time. then you're part of the problem. They all suck ball sack with their weird rituals. I hate rituals. I don't like them. I don't like... my bong broke. I don't even smoke weed no more. I used to wake up sometimes, go out. But my God said, no more smoke in your lungs. I like making candy. I think I'm going to make a batch of caramel today. Want to see the butter I made? I only use 4 ingredients to make candy. I try to get the best ingredients, so I'm trying to dial in my recipe. So I get granulated sugar, white granulated sugar, and then I get good cream, heavy cream. And then I make my butter infused with flour. And sometimes I'll put frequencies on the butter of healing frequencies. So when people consume the candy, they're consuming within their body an energetic frequency that's going to make their body feel good. The whole world's falling apart because people don't feel good. You got all these people trying to overcompensate and building up this facade of bullshit America. And they're just like trying to dig themselves out of storm. Where I live, northern New Mexico, we haven't had a winter. We didn't really have one. I think it snowed twice, like 6 inches. And I don't even think like the Mesa got it a lot. Like out there in the open. In Mars, I call it Mars. Mars already exists. All you got to do is live out in the desert. And most of the United States is desert. Like, people don't understand the geography of what their world even is. So, of course, they're not going to know who the inhabitants are. You just have to respect nature and know that there's things out there that are going to eat you in the light and the dark. And why is my FYP a bunch of cannibalism? I've known about that since I mean, this isn't new to me. Like, I guess it's new to me that it's becoming common knowledge. See, I never trip out on, like, things that happen in the world. It trips me out that other people don't see the world how I see it. So I was born with thunder in my heart because Mom was under a great deal of duress. So at 10 months old, they finally took me out of, like, Mom was my incubator, is what I call her. She evicted me, and they wanted to evict me on the 1st of April, which is the first true beginning of it's a big ritual day. And Mom said, no, I'm not going to have my daughter born on April Fool's Day. And then they waited. They kept her in there. Kept me in there. And so I came out, I was only 6 pounds, 4 ounces, because they were shooting all kinds of hormones and doing I was just a lab rat. I've always been just a lab rat, but I got a spirit in me. And the last thing my country gave to me was 8 anthrax vaccines. And that is what is causing the most damage. And I don't have any rating on my VA disability for that. I have to fight to live every day. Because my body wants to wear out. My body don't want to go on. See, I've been going on for so long. Because I made Mom a promise I'd never put her in a home. I'd never put her in one of those places where terrible things happen to her. Because she came from an institution, you see. She was one of those people that her family threw her away. That's why it was so important for her to keep me. Because she didn't want to be like them. So I owe it to her. Because of her, they didn't hunt me in Montana like they wanted to. She protected me from so many terrible things. And that's how I always knew what evil was. I was touched by evil at 10 months old. It's weird to me that people don't see that their uncles and their dads and their brothers and their nephews aren't straight up fucking perverts. That's what's weird to me. Like, I've been going back, watching old shows that I found entertaining when I was a kid, and it makes me sick. I've watched like 3 episodes of that Amanda Bynes show. She's All That. She and I aren't really much different. She just went the way of Hollywood, and I came from a military family. But the grandma's witch root started in Los Angeles, and then she just found her little pocket, her little den of bitches in a Atascadero. You ever heard of the Atascadero State Mental Hospital? Look up that place. My dad was an employee there. He got fired because he's a machismo and he do what he wanted. And all he was is a psych tech, and he overrid the doctor's orders because he thought he knew better. That's the bloodline that I grew up into. But I can't hate the man because my face looks like him. Or it looks like him, like if he would have aged out. But see, my dad's such a weird man. A few years back, last time I talked to him, we've been no contact for several years. My brother also. They're fucking evil men. I can't pretend like they're not. And they shouldn't be around women and little kids and girls and stuff like that either. My brother's roommate for 10 years is in the prison system that he makes $240,000 off a year from housing his old roommates for being pedos, for putting cameras in the bathroom of their 16-year-old girlfriend's, the 16-year-old daughter of his girlfriend. After he already got busted with her underwear. Like, these are the men that I grew up around. That I'm supposed to, like, no, Margie, we're really good, important men. Dude, you guys fucking slap and tickle, race and chasing each. That's what fraternities do. How many dudes do you see fucking in their whitey-tighties in a basement? That's what fraternities and sororities are. Do our weird butt stuff, and then you'll get all the good jobs in society. Now look at what society's happening in society, because y'all got all these weirdos in power that don't know how to fucking do anything, but you need people that need support services. Everybody needs a fucking support system. There's no fucking support system anyplace. I haven't had a day off since 2017 because nobody's gonna feed mom or white mom's ass but me. But there's 8 billion people on the planet that can vote and get little I voted stickers and all that shit. I call bullshit. I call all wars as fake. All wars do is just men being gay in other places. In their private man clubs where women aren't allowed. Because your G-spot isn't in your asshole. And ours is. So you aren't like us. Ask anybody from like homosexuality is how they always done it. They just tell you goyim. You goyms. You goyms, you dirty goyms. What are this name calling stuff? Either people are lizards or they're not. That's all there is. That's really isn't. It comes if you're a selfish, opportunistic asshole that's collecting cryptocurrency, you're a fucking lizard. You're a fucking lizard. And you have no hearts. Because it's all about your diamonds, you little bitches. I didn't even want these abilities that I have. I didn't want the ability of telekinesis. I don't want to shift people's energy. They don't like it. They act out. I walk into a room, people are like, oh, fuck, it's this bitch. You know how many rooms I walked into in cities across America, and people they have a bad I'm like Tech 9 and Chris Brown. I'm gonna go get me a cup of coffee. Mom loves to wake up to my stories. And then I think I'm gonna stop this live and then go to this live over here. But I gotta talk about those one time, thunder in my heart. I keep trying to break my own heart. It won't do it. I don't know how this song got in my ear. Okay, so after being born a little preemie full term, because I'm a weird science experiment, it gives you the abilities, like being in higher state of electronic frequencies. That's puts you where the data is held, in the no place space, where all the knowing is. That's why people meditate. So they remove the self from them, and then you go into the no place space where all the data is held. And so when I was young, I made a lot of bad choices. I didn't like the gopher. I did cocaine exactly one time in my life. I hated it. Like, this is the stupidest drug that I've ever done. It, like, makes you a little numb, gives you a little pep in your step for 15 minutes, done over. And the price ratio for where I lived, like, that's what stupid dummies do. Stupid dummies waste their money on that have money to waste. And I hated the people that did that shit. They're all like the frat boys and when they're in politics and stuff like that. With the going on their hunting parties with their uncles and their dad. It's just all men playing butt stuff in the slap and tickle in the woods. And then they come back to society and say, you have to do what we say because we are the bosses of you. And it's all weird. No man is, no woman, no, I'm the boss of me. I control my emotions and my behavior to the point that I have seen so much bullshit, but I don't have a rap sheet. Last deal I got was on 11/11 of all the dates. Back in 2001, so it's 25 years ago. And I don't drink alcohol anymore because I let my ego run the show when I drink alcohol, so that's why I don't drink alcohol. So cocaine's stupid, and then I look at the whole storyline of all the freaking people in charge today that have done cocaine on the back of toilet stalls. Like, anybody's surprised about that, but these are the people in charge. Like, they tell me don't do drugs because we're too busy doing them all. One time I did this rail of, they said it was just crank, is what they called it in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Never played with that crystal stuff, that blue stuff. That's just for weirdos. I don't like that stuff. And so homeboy came over one time, put out on this, and so anyway, that was the only time I consumed something outside of myself and I put it inside myself, and I honestly thought that I was gonna die. And I was actually like going through an on-the-job training type deal to be an EKG technician at that time. So I am like picturing what my heart is doing on this, and it was like, and then I found out several days later, I was like, that wasn't what they told me it was. What did they give me? What drugs was I on? Like, I want to know so I never do those drugs again, because I almost died. I was up 6 days. My heart wouldn't go back into another rhythm, and I'm not going to go in and be like, hey, I did this drug. Can you fix my... No, that's stupid. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I always try to do what I can to keep myself out of it. And they said it was heroin and crystal meth. And I said, fuck anybody who does that shit to themselves. You do that shit to your heart, you never live from your heart. Fuck you are. You're all evil. Y'all suck ballsack. Anybody that doesn't care enough about the thing that helps them do good things for other people, you're evil. You're wicked. You're demonic. You're evil, wicked, and demonic. And that's why I don't have no friends. Plus, I got 29 degrees Gemini. Saturn. 29 degrees Saturn in Gemini in my 12th house. So I'm just here to flash into the world to tell the world, don't be stupid. Stop doing what they fucking want you to do. Live your own life, and then I'll be flashing out across the sky to the Rainbow Bridge. Because I got my dogs waiting for me. And my cats. all the critters that I love my whole life, because every time I try to love people, they hate themselves and say, fuck you. So, I ain't trying no more. I don't live for this life. I live for mom's comfort. I don't live for money, property, prestige. I don't live for cover letters and resumes and all that shit. All that stuff is stupid. There is no place for that in my world. And I, my whole life, have been trying to be a part of making the world more how it would be better for everybody. And every time there's always some asshole that's a cock block that's gonna freaking block, you know, fairness and justice for all. So I'm just gonna go off and build my own mountain, my own cabin in the woods. And if people want to come hang out and we can tell stories about places that they've been and traveled to, because I bet when you start talking to each other, you really know the same people, because the world isn't as small as they said it was. Or it's not as big as... The world is not what they say it is. It's whatever we make it to be. And they just make us do... All wars is for them to clear real estate so they can go in and build. That fucking little bitch, dude. Never put me in the room. I will clown that fucking fool so hard, that Jared Kushner dude. Trump's bitch boy. Son-in-law. Nepotism. Like, never put me in the room with these. I will clown these fucking people so hard. I will be the heckler of America. Because they're all little bottom frat boy bitches in their little pants. Their little tight little pants with their shiny little shoes with their tassels. Just make it hard. They never consider the people that they make things hard for. Like, I have to not wake up and weep because I live next to power lines. And whenever you live next to power lines, when you're an energetic sensitive, just consider like every plug in America backwards, and you're tuning in to every frequency that is plugged into these power lines. And that is me. So I live in this Faraday cage, which is good. But still, man, I hear this souls weeping in New Mexico. All these fucking young girls that have been buried and cut up and put in shallow graves because of fucking imprivileged little bitch frat boys. And all the people that have had advantages because of that. I am going full on clown on these bitches. Because I have the credentials to do it. My mom was born in Cuesta, New Mexico, to be thrown away into the orphanage systems where terrible things happened to her for several years of the beginning of her life. I don't even know how old she is, really, because they just write numbers. And she don't need to know that either. She just knows that she had as a daughter that loves her very much, and she will never, ever, ever, ever let anything bad ever happen to her ever again. Because the one time I wasn't there, a man slammed her head in her car door. Of all the times I kept her safe, but that one time I was not there. So for all those people that are figuring out that evil exists... And know this, that grown men should never be hanging out with girls that are young. Old men should never be hanging out with teenage girls for any reason ever. Ever. And America's based on that. Nepotism. The couch call. I think about all the women I went to AA meetings that I hung out with and was friends with, and they got really good jobs. And then I find out about how they get these jobs and how they were just slutty. They were just slutty tramps, and they just, use their body to get advantage. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should start selling my ass on the internet. I tried about 10 years ago. I went on Craigslist and I was like, what are the code words for selling your ass on the internet? Like, how do people get into the industry of pornography? Because I got to pay the rent. I seriously, and I was like, that was the only time in my life. I was 42 years old. That was the last time I got carded for alcohol. It's about the same time I started doing these videos. And so I had an 8-pack because my car got repoed, so I was walking to the store with my A-bag buying 25-pound bags of dog food that would only last a couple days for my 5 dogs and stuff. And so I had to work harder to make life comfortable for the things that I loved. Because I couldn't pay the world what the world wanted for me to give them so my loved ones were comfortable. This dumb bitch came across my memories from like 2017, Amy Tempe. She was my landlord. She could talk all this shit in the fucking... I would love to hear all the shit that she has to say about me. I would love. One day, maybe, if she draws a sober breath, I could cross her fucking path and we can sit down and we can talk about how she can justify her behavior of having me be without running water as a landlord for a year and a fucking half. And I still didn't stick that bitch with the bill. I still paid off a $1,300 water bill, city bill to Salem, Oregon, when I was getting water out of a creek to flush the toilet. And nobody would help me. And I was like, hey, if I'm this like lady that was like fought for my country and shit and went to college and did all this stuff just to take care of my mom, like, if fucking society says fuck you, you ain't worth a goddamn piece of shit as far as we're concerned, look at all these people that haven't done jack shit in their life. They're in trouble. I need to get out of here. And so we left Salem, Oregon 5 years ago to end up in Taos, fucking New Mexico. To find out my mother was born here, this is the place. And then we found you know what? You know who her nephews are? You know who the people, they're the cockroaches, the opportunists. That's who wants to know Loretta. She's the youngest born to like 17 people on one side of the family and 9 people on the other. But they don't have enough decency in their whole fucking generational bloodline to step forward and be like, wow, tell us the story of your life and how you came back to be a part of your family that doesn't give a shit about you twice. So when people talk big about Taos, New Mexico and family and tribes, I also think about how shitty people live on the res, every place. Why? Because casino's good. No, casino's bad. I am so fucking... I opened up, there's this sub chick, she does tours. Like, I wake up, I go stand on my roof, and I can see those piles of earth out by Arizona, like the shiprock and shit like that, where she's on the res, so she's right there. And then if I zoom in, I can see the mountains that I'm ass in next to. Wheeler Peak, way off in the distance, so it's nice to see the perspective where I am from across there. And then you have people in the chat like, tell us, can you tell us the history of the land there? And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Unless you come and do a tour. Come give me money and I'll share what I fucking know. Like, what kind of low vibrational shit is that? I am so tired of the secret keepers. It's why lizards are allowed to wear their little suits and have their little parties. What was last night? What was the date? February 24th. So whenever they have their soirees, you always got to ask yourself. There's like a alphabet list of prominent ritual dates. List of popular ritual in the occult. Hidden knowledge, that's all occult means. Let's see. No calendar. I hate it. I always say artificial intelligence is a lazy man's tool. It's for kids that play video games and never have... Like, how many times I wondered, like, did they ask the fucking Leo Cub to take out the garbage and he just couldn't pull himself together to do it? So people have to overcompensate for the boy just has to burn all of his juice on stupid bullshit. Fucking astrologers are such jokes. They're all snake oil salesmen as far as I'm concerned. All you're doing is paying someone a few $100 to give you an interpretation of you based on their perception. I'll do it for anybody for free. Mom had my first birth chart done when I was born. I've always been tracking the stars. I grew up in Morro Bay where the old men on the boats would say that's how I knew about consistency. Because the world I live on, nothing was ever consistent. But you could go by the stars because the stars are going to be the same place tonight that they are a little bit different than next, And then Venus is sometimes morning star. The love is lost. It's my interpretation is not like anybody else's. And I've never read one single astrology book in my life. I just know energy and potentials. And people carry electricity, that energy within them. And most people, they don't do good things with the energy in them, with the way their heart beats. See, my heart beats like thunder. I go out in the world. I want people, like storm. And I hate storms because I respect storms. Storms really scare me. I really don't like storms. But I've done the dumb stuff. I've done the dumb stuff before where one time when I was in tech school, Wichita Falls, we were on a weather warning. And so you have a bunch of airmen, chicks, it was like the facts of life. It was like a cheesy sitcom, but I was in tech school. And I've been drinking. It was like a Friday, Saturday night, and there was winds kicking through 90 miles an hour. And this is how I think. This is why I don't drink. Because I can rationalize my thought processes. Because I start thinking things like, Marge, when have you ever been in 90-mile-an-hour winds? Ever. And I think about my whole life, all the places I ever lived, where, okay, no place, that's a lot, that's a high wind, that's windy. And so I crawled out my bedroom window because I lived on the first floor. It sucked. I live right next to the stairwell. So I would have to pass out to sleep because there's constantly people going up and down the stair. Like you got people coming home from school at 10:30 at night or the bars or whatever and just clonk, 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 clonk. I mean, with a person that has like a memory, like I don't want to learn other people's foot patterns. I don't want to know because I see them and I hear it, and so I start putting together. I don't need to waste my mind juice on that shit. So anyway, I went outside and I stood in the wind at 90 mile an hours, and I stood there I did that thing where you stand with your arms out and you lean into it, and I was just like, because I just want the experience. And then what happens is there's consequences that are tied to this experience. Because I signed away my life. Because at that point, I'm a commodity. I'm a person in a suit. I'm a character in a production of a show. And I can't be breaking the freaking merchandise. So I didn't stay out very long. It scared the hell out of me. I went back inside. And no, I didn't get in trouble for that. But I got in trouble for other things all the time. The examples that people have been... That's why I got to be so good at, like, fitness and stuff. Because they would call me out and they'd say, you're fat. But I was never fat. I was always fit. But they were never... recognize what an actual fit person looks like because they're not fit people. And I was always fit. I was always very athletic. I was always very active. The idea of just sitting there and doing nothing just puts lines on my face. It does. I can't. Like video games, I'd rather sit and think about nothing. I'd rather meditate than sit and play video games for 3 hours. I'd rather go in here, than somebody else's idea of what a good time is. That don't make no sense to me. So if you love anybody out there, the world is not the same place as it used to be, and never let anybody you care about enlist. It's nothing to be proud of. Pride is a fool's emotion. Pride is like what people like me are supposed to act, but I don't want to be a prideful being. I'm not proud of anything. I'm not proud of any fucking singular thing I've ever done. I am grateful that I have used my heartbeat, the thunder in my heart, that God gives me strength to take care of Mom. And we've always lived in the no place space. Now I want to read this little... No, I don't. I don't want to read that. I'm not going to read that. I don't feel like it. Where's my warrior prayer one? That one's hella dope. I haven't read that one in a while. The warrior's prayer. I wonder how many of these exist on the planet. It's purple. Purple's my least favorite color. But this is hella dope. This applies to a lot of people out there that are just, you know, trying to stay happy. Because, like, I want to go out and play and do stuff. And I can't always do what I want to do. So sometimes me being a warrior is just sitting there and being at peace with myself. Because I get ideas of things I want to do. And if I go out and get hurt, it ain't going to do Mom no good. So I got to make sure I always get to come home to Mom. So, the warrior's prayer. I am what I am. And having faith in the beauty within me, I develop trust. In softness I have strength. In silence I walk with the gods. In peace I understand myself and the world. In conflict I walk away. In detachment I am free. In respecting all living things, I respect myself. In dedication, I honor the courage within me. In eternity, I have compassion for the nature of all things. In love, I unconditionally accept the evolution of others. In freedom, I have power. In my individuality, I express the God force within me. In service, I give what I have become. I am what I am. Eternal, immortal, universal, and infinite. And so be it. This is written by, I've looked up this company. It's by a dude named Stuart Wilkie. www. No, it's not Wilkie. My eyes are messing with me. It's Wild. WILDE. So it's www.stuartwild.com. Copyright 2012. Mom used to always like get these things and send them to me. So I have, this is printed in Ireland. ISBN number. If anybody wants a copy, that would be 978-0-9867300-2-3. I'm on the gospel side of TikTok now. Or not TikTok. Apple Music. I can't listen to mainstream music anymore. I like listening to music though, so that's kind of dope. So I don't know, I'm seeing more people that are living from their heart. But being selfish and just going around and vacationing in Sedona and stuff like that's not people. That's just doing what you want to do. That's just people vacationing. People gathering, snake oil salespeople that gather in places like Los Angeles, the New Soul Expo, I used to go to AA conferences everywhere. I used to go. It's like the same mentality, different groups. Like you have like your AA speakers that used to travel all over. Dude, that was all human trafficking. It's all old dudes trying to get it in with freaking chicks that are half their age. And then that's how many dudes that I know that I got sober with in the early 2000s, like, they're stoked because they're fucking, got these inappropriate age gap people That stuff is weird. That's like I never understood that. I like I would rather date nobody than be with somebody like 15 years older than me or younger. Cuz my life has been too vast, and that's just like somebody that's just like, I don't know. Basically people are just like toys like this. They're like they're entertainment. Like, wow, look how they choose to live their lives, you know? Look at the loops that they pick. But New Mexico, their loops, there's so much desecrated, freaking toxic. You know what makes like a land like what's the words I'm trying to think of? I don't like this song in particular. All right, let's try it like this. To desecrate land, to make. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I always hit the wrong one. Are these blue? These are blue. Can I kick it? A Tribe Called Quest. That song's hella dope. What year did that come out? 1990. April 10th. That's the day after my birthday. I just turned. Mom had already had her head thing. I started drinking. For an autistic kid, that was cool. Like, that gave me freedom. Because that gave me permission to not care about what anybody thought about me ever. That really sealed the deal. And then plus, I like to run off and go to concerts. I'd always run off and do but then it was like, I figured out like, my first concert I went to was probably 87, 88. It was Primus. I was kind of a punk rock kid. I was a dirty street kid that lived with her mom. But mom couldn't hardly take care of herself, so she didn't need to worry about taking care of me. I first paid rent when I was 15 years old. That was the first job I had. And I wasn't part of the rent. No, it was the whole ass rent. 15. People are like, what did you do when you were a kid that no other kid that your age did? I said, well, I got a laundry list, but people, when I start talking about the things that happened at the ages that they happened to me, people really don't want to hear about it. And then I'm the weirdo because I can talk about things that happened to me when I wasn't even the same person I am now. Because I'm like so much older, my body has evolved I'm on a different, the seventh version of myself. You can't care. That's how people get cancers, because they keep doing the same behaviors that they did that's sick. All these people with colon cancer and rectum and all this stuff, it's because of butt stuff. It's because, it's so weird. Okay, that Catherine O'Hara chick just died, right? And they talked about, on a show I watched called Best Medicine, about how people that are born with their hearts on the wrong side, they're like a twin. The chances are very high that they're a twin. And that she was the case. And then she was, I look at her kids. Her kids don't look like her. Was she pregnant? Was she pregnant and carried those kids around? See, because, I don't know. I give mad props to moms. I have to give mad props to women that, first of all, do it with the dude and then get pregnant. I mean, whatever. Have a good time. Hairy butts are just never fucking rad to me. And then when dudes get old, they don't get hotter. They basically, turn into little old lady bodies with soggy balls. It's not cute. And it's going to catch up to him. Age catches up to, my age is catching up to me. I keep looking at my face. I'm like, who is this old broad? Who is that chick with all these lines? And I look at pictures from 10 years ago, and I was like, Marge, God, man. At least I can't say that I let myself go. At least I didn't, like, every winter I emerge as a different Marge. Like, from winter to spring. Like, I'm not like a big old tub of sat there and ate bacon for 4 months. No. No. I get attention I don't want. Let's just say it like that. That's a fair way to say it. Ooh, that's a good song. Don't Do Me Like That. Tom Petty. Like, all these, and I look at all these people, I'm like, who are they fooling? They're all inverts, dude. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those inverts. I never had the same build. I always had to take showers and stuff in PE, and I was like, how come, like when I look at other women, they, like, the way that their ribs are and stuff, like, mine, I'm not like that. I'm not built like other women. What is that? It's because there's some of us that are some people are born natural. Most people are lab rats. I think most, like, the whole vaccine thing is how they're going to get the meek to inherit the earth, because sensitive, but they don't understand, like, these new little beings that are being birthed to the earth right now in the last 5 years, like all the COVID kids, like they are not a part of the system, so you can't sell them on the system. You see what I mean? Like, all of us dummies, I'll call generation whatever, there's boomers in every war conflict. Understand that, because that's what a boomer is. It's whatever they say, we gotta go over there and defend things like freedom and democracy. Then there's, like, a population burst 9 months later. Just start thinking about, like, what makes what. I think about that because I'm an Aries. So they started me out as a Cancer in July is when I don't even know my birth story. I don't know nothing. Like, my life it was never any of my business. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. It's my life. It was like trying to pull teeth for me to get my birth certificate from my mom when I left for. I said, no, you don't get this anymore. Like, the things that people think that they could take from me in my life. No. Mine. Just like everybody else, they can do whatever the weird shit they want to themselves. I don't agree with what people do to themselves to alter themselves. I'm kind of sad I got braces before. Kind of sad about that. Kind of like my face with my jangly teeth. I used to have janky, like Jewel. We had the same time. These are our hair. How many people had grandparents to say, hey, they wouldn't, I thought it was the weirdest thing I ever could not ever rectify with, because that woman never said, go brush your teeth. Little old blue-haired lady had the whole world full. Never once said to me, go brush your teeth. What she would say to me is, go brush your fangs. Go brush your fangs. Go brush my fangs? What the fuck am I? These are fangs or teeth. They're teeth. They're not fangs. I don't got no fangs. I don't want to eat no blood. I ain't no monster. I ain't no monster. The people that keep trying to make me a monster. I do like a nice steak every now and again, though. But I have rectified that with that animal before that animal, and that's an agreement that we came, because I got O positive blood. I got that weird blood that everybody wants. That's compatible with everybody. No, my blood's only for me. Thank you very much. Your blood's for you. Make sure you keep your blood clean. Because once your blood gets sick, Mama had to eat her vegetables last night. Huh, Ma? I had vegetables yesterday. I think today she's going to have salmon. Where's Luna? Uh-oh. Did I lose my dog? Oh. I wish people that would just start seeing that we're just electricity. Luna had an event last night. Like, I would call it what? It's an electronic event. I don't know what the sun's doing. She's an old dog, and I watched the transgression with a lot of old people. Like, what happens with their mental mapping as they age. They get stuck in the same loops where they find comfort unless they got a lot of bad karma, and then their demons drag them off. I've seen that a lot when people that have instilled fear in others. That's why, dude, I don't want nobody to be scared of me. Like, people have straight up, like, flipped out on me. Like, I'm some sort of threat that's going to cause harm. What is that noise? I felt that one in my feet. There was a fucking piece of the gutter on the roof this morning. And I don't live around no gutters. There's no gutters on these. That was Luna finding the cat food. I put some cat food out for the strays. That was Luna. That was okay. See, I heard the people steal my weed plants from me. You just have to let things go. You just got to let people take stuff sometimes, because it's not worth me going out there, because I go into automatic pilot and then things happen and people get hurt, and it's not worth stuff like that. And so I don't want nobody to get hurt. So people, that's why every place I ever lived, there I live, and people steal from me wherever I go, and I just have to let them take it. Because it's not worth it. So I gotta start reading this book. I hate reading. Makes me tired, but I can't find it anywhere on Audible or anything like that. So I think I'm going to sit outside with Mom, get some fresh air. It's not a big read, but it's just another tool in the arsenal of fucking bullshit of what the world that they impose our reality is. And then I'll share with people it's the complete solution to the civilization of the oldest puzzle, the language crystal. That's what this book is. It's by this dude. I just see a fraternity boy in there, but let's see if he has some good shit to say. Encoded in the very words you speak are messages that you can use to gain a new vitality. And amazingly, the word itself can take you to the roots of the world's oldest mystery. What evil did humanity eat in the garden that led to our initial downfall? The answer brings us out of the Armageddon into Aquarius. That's kind of a dope book to read. Oh, what? Symbols? What's that? Is that the element? What? Hold on. Stand by. This is the crystal structure of the... See, I learned this stuff when I was a kid. The hardness of stones and woods. Because I made a cribbage board when I was a 10-year-old girl for my brother for his birthday out of manzanita wood. And it took me 2.5 hours to fucking cut through that thing. Because my arm would get tired, so I'd have to change arms. But I needed this slice of wood. And then the adult, Tom Carl, the Scientologist, biker guy, he would use the drill press. And then I got to make the little brass. It was a dope because it had the grain of manzanita. It's the third hardest wood that exists. Third hardest wood on the planet. Anyway, since we've lived here, she's done this thing where like you could see, like, she's having a response to a pulse. It's not like she's having a seizure, but I know what she's doing, and she's not under any duress at all. I don't even think that she really. One time I took her to the local vet here, and the guy's like, I don't know, maybe something that would go away after 7 to 10 days of antibiotics. Like, and the guy shrugs at the fucking vet tech. The veterinarian. I was like, he don't work there no more. He's a dumbass. But I was just like, what the are you really for real right now? Like, I don't know. Anyway. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and Luna was doing that again. And I was like, well, and I just made sure she was comfortable. I got her some water so she could wet her whistle. And I just talked to her and just let her know that she's good, and she's, and she just, everything's wonderful, and how she's the best girl in the whole world, and kissy, 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 all that stuff. And then, like, she settled down and went back to sleep. And so, but, like, I mean, there's always signs. And I've been watching Mom's neurologicals change since '89. Like, other people, they have their parents, and they go to work every day, and they evolve, and they just live a loop is what they do. And Mom always had so much energy to make herself of use, but she couldn't. She was born with 2 club feet. Her feet were deformed. She had 5-6 surgeries on both her feet. It's a miracle that she could walk. From what they did to her in the 1950s. Like, kids today, because of surgeries they did on her, like, kids that have less invasive surgeries now because they fucking tore her shit apart. And so I owe it to her to make sure that she's comfortable in life. And she did a lot of service work. She's always been, she's got awards on the fridge from the state of California, from, like, she always, because she couldn't go to work, but she wanted to be of service to people, so she always, in Shasta County, and there's 2 places she volunteered. One was at the Welcome Center in Anderson, where she would meet and greet people that traveled, because she loved hearing about other people. She's the traveler, but she couldn't travel. She's got like 5 planets in Sagittarius. And then she would do tours in, like, historic old Shasta, where people would stop. I think it burned down since then on the way to Whiskey Town. So, like, I think about all these people that she's chatted with. And, like, there's this kid. I mean, she's always been such a faithful, wonderful woman. There's this kid that died tragically when I was in high school. I was a senior. He was a freshman, sophomore. And he went hunting with his buddy. Jared Goetting is his name. And he went hunting, and he fell down like 100 feet. And then he lived. And then he went to climb up the hill that he just fell down to get himself out of the ravine. And he fell again. And then he didn't live. And so Mom was walking one day. And this kid was just kind of kicking rocks, you know, just fucking summer, nothing to do. And it was so sad. And like he just started walking with, because people just always drawn to her, because she makes people feel better. That's why I get it from her. I know how to people's soothe their woes, because I've had so many. I've had to soothe my own. I could tell you what I did to make myself feel better. Maybe you can feel better too. And and this kid just walked with her, you know, and she just always let people know that there's a right way to live, you know, that if you live from your heart, that you're not, you know, and you got to be respectful. She just always talked about what Jesus Christ talked about and all that stuff. And she went to a different church, a bunch of different, like we'd go to like the Southern church, where, yeah, praise, yeah, you know, all that stuff. And when I was in the military, like I get bored. I didn't want to just sit in the barracks on, you know, during basic training or whatever. So you could go to whatever religion you want to. There was a service at some point. So I'd go to other people's religions just to see what they did. And then I watched how they acted. And then I was like, okay, this is how people in this religion act. So I don't want to act like them. I don't want to do that religion. Next! Always comes down to butt stuff. Exit only system. That's so funny. I ain't into none of those reindeer games. What are the things that are going on in the world? Okay, so there's volcanoes. Newfoundland and that's that. Weather alerts. Disaster alert. People are trying to dig themselves out of the incompetency of their local governments all over the eastern seaboard, I see. Dude, these little fucking shit states pay themselves so much to be in charge, and then when the shit comes down to it, they don't know what the fuck they're doing like everybody else. It's so funny. Flood, Northern California, flood for... Okay, I got some screenshots last night because it went from no weather in California to weather from California and Nevada, like across 3 states. Because I'm always tracking stuff, and they just blop stuff up, and there's like, this is how it is. And I just want to reach out in these people and be like, hey, is it raining where you are? Because it says you got this crazy weather, and they're like, nah, it's nothing. The birds are singing, it's great. So it's like, what is reality versus the contrived experience that they opt us to? Like the idea, I never could put my head around elections. I always thought elections were so stupid. And then when I was in AA, I was in the service side of AA. So I'd have to travel out to fucking places like Columbus, Nebraska, where they had like the head machismos of AA. You know, because it's levels of series of service. It's all bullshit. It's all hierarchical. We're so important because we're over here doing nothing instead of sitting in our living room and doing nothing. None of that stuff ever helped me. I helped those agencies so much, like what I brought to the military and every job I ever... I worked one of the most machismo, lamest next to the military companies that I ever worked for is a company called West Corporation. They had campuses all over Omaha. So they had, what they did is there was 3 services they did. They did the line groups where you had people that just sat there with their headphones on a computer where you called in and want to get your frequent fucking flyer points from your Sky Mile bullshit. Or call ESPN to bet, or call in for American Idol to vote for your stupid thing. That was, and then they would have conferences that they would just put people in video communication all over the world. And I didn't have any faith in this company because every day we'd have to one of us from tech support would have to go run the knock. They had a full-ass knock. Understand that? Like War Games. Big old huge screen where they have a map of the world of where they're connecting. And you have to run it because you had to make sure that everything worked. Like, and it's set up where there's a conference table for 50 people. So they have all these people that they bring in, they buy them lunch, sit around this table, shoot their shot, present, give us all your money for stupid bullshit. And then the curtains open and then you see the IT staff that are in the knock. It is, and I was like, America's bullshit. America's complete bullshit. Because it's that set is no different than when I was at the military and you're the new airman, you get to your first duty station, and I got to go down into the 10 feet into the basement of Stratcom where they push the buttons for... I don't even believe I think a bunch of men sat around and protected empty silos and got paid good money for it for a lot of years and a lot of benefits while their fucking wives were at home taking care of their fucking brat kids because he can't keep it in his pants until he goes off to war where he can be with the men that he loves. The whole military is dude, it's all just... I was gay in the military and it made me uncomfortable. I'm a homophobic homo. I'm going back to that. Marge asexual. Oh my god, chasing sensation. The idea of sex with anybody on this planet is just bleh. Bleh. I wonder if I still have that magnet. I've had this magnet forever. There's this little bunny series that they made. And I travel around a lot, so I'm like a magnet. I collect small things. Little trinkets to prove that I was there. And somebody gave me this magnet one time. I like to give people, if people send me their address, I'll send them magnets. Right? This magnet is, because I would be sad. I'd get those pictures where like you they had the face on it to with the word of the emotion when I was trying to learn what my emotions, because my face just does this. I go out in the world and my default setting is this, and it's always with good reason. Like, why is a fucking man standing 6 inches from me? Dude, you don't understand. I'm not spatially aware of my body. I'm gonna fucking raise my arm and wipe my nose, and you're gonna get an elbow in your face. Why? Because you're too fucking close to me. That's why. I don't like people close to me. I'm one of those you don't walk up on. You don't like, because you don't know where I'm thinking. You got all these people that are just like trying to, there's terrible situations happening in the world and you don't know where the mindset of and I always can reach the mindset of the people that can't be reached. Because first of all, you gotta let them twirl out for a while. And then you gotta start asking them what experience that they're having. The world isn't getting better. Ever since I was a little kid, when terrible things happened to me as a baby, my whole life they kept talking about how things were going to get better, and things always get worse. They always get worse. They never get better. And yet people get their little I voted sticker and they still do their little vacations in fucking Sedona and their little spiritual retreats. Dude, I used to go on AA retreats with like the heiress of fucking Walgreens. And she was dumb as a box of rocks. Like, I used to hang out with really important people. I used to hang out with people that were military. Like I was like my grand sponsor, Rip Peg. Hey, Peg, rip in heaven there. I hope you're resting peacefully. Her dad was like the Attorney General of the United States Air Force. He couldn't even form a sentence by the time I talked to him, and it is privilege has a low hum. Born and raised, you don't gotta have money to have privilege either. You just have to know the right people. I will never forgive the state of New Mexico for how it threw away my mother and all the little babies, boys and girls that it's thrown away ever since then the whole time, and how it's always been a friend to Epstein. Like, every administrator is culpable in my mind. Like, you suck dick to a system that allows that to happen, and I have no respect for any of them. So I'll probably never get I probably won't ever get my hearing benefit, because I say, and I'll write, and like, because I'm not an idiot. I'm educated. I will send these people my resume, say they know who that I'm talking to. And I will send them letters of recommendation of people that have actually done commendable things in their lives. And I will put all these stupid fucking cousins on blast. But see, I can't, I'm cut off. I'm one of those crazy people. No, I'm one of those people that is fed up of a system where the system people profit more about saying, save the kids, stop humping the kids, and people still, talk in terms of Wednesday's hump day? How infantile is the mentality of America? I haven't said that since even like corporate America. And then you see all the same people that just say the same terms because they're the same people, and then they go home and they sit in the same chair in different houses, and they eat all the same foods, and they watch the same shows. So then they go back to work the next day and they have the same conversations. Yeah, I'm supposed to be like, ooh, America's an authentic place. No, America is a very fake, contrived reality. Washington, D.C. and Hollywood both exist to get people to think America's a great place when it's run by a bunch of fraternity brothers into butt stuff. Hey, you made me throw up a little. That thing cracks me up. That thing made me laugh a lot of times when I was having sad days. I've had a lot of sad days. Life is sad. It's hard to live in a reality where people don't care about people that are getting hurt all the time, so that they can have their real estate games, and their names can be written in a book. So, 100 years when they're worm food and they're dead, the whole world will know who they are and what they did. Like, that shit's stupid. All of it is dumb. None of that stuff does any good to anybody. No conference in Sedona in 2026 is going to do anything to help me make mom comfortable. And look at all the other people in the world that just like, they got like a neurodivergent like kid that can't go to school. And it's like, to not be able to go to like do your trade that you do to take care of the person, in order to take care of the person, and try to figure out why they just flaunt, they waste millions and trillions of dollars. There's always billions of dollars going to this place and that place. Mom can't even get food stamps in Taos, New Mexico. So you going to tell me I'm supposed to believe in any system? Like, it's just the land of the stupid cousins. That's all it is. That's all it is. New Mexico, friend to Epstein, land of the stupid cousins. You want to fucking know? You want to know where your women kids run off to? They run off. Like, you don't tell them the dangers out there. You don't tell them all the terrible stuff that happened to you so that it doesn't happen to them. Everybody's just going around pretending because, men in red suits and Santa Claus and go big red this and football this and stupid sporting event, hockey bullshit. I used to go to, what hockey players are? They're fucking underage assholes that come here and like fucking will shit on you at the concession stand because don't you know who they are? That's what fucking hockey players are. I can't fucking, they're all like flyboys. They're all little bitches. They're all little Pisces with something to prove. Little Cancer dudes, little Geminis. I'm the boss. I'm the man. No, you're a bunch of little posers pretending to be men, acting like you fucking hitting a little puck. I got a puck before at the Mavericks game. I went to like 3 hockey games because I always try to do the stupid shit that people do. And then I go there and I'm like, God, there's so many other things I'd rather be doing than sitting here and going like this. Like, I'm not no jerk off. This isn't fun for me. And I got a hockey puck, and I gave it to the little girl that was next to me because I don't give a shit. And evidently it's an exciting thing. And so my whole life is based on like, ooh, here's an award. For what? For being stupid? Why are you giving me an award? Why does anybody get an award? Why do people have credentials? Why do people have to pay $80,000 to this institution and be told to read these 12 books, and then they'll get a piece of paper that says they're worth something? But if these people over here don't pay for the institution but retain the same knowledge by reading the same books, they have less advantage. That stuff makes my head just... This world does not compute. This world don't make no sense. But I talk shit about everybody, though. That's the thing. Because I see the shitty in me. It's all my character defects. I see all the things I hate in other people is because I hate them in myself. At least I gotta not act like that. I gotta not be like them. At least. And I will go so far out of the way to be like people that I am surrounded by. Because I'll sit and I'll watch. How did that happen? Why is my mouse over there? Can I go... I don't want that there. Why is my Bluetooth isn't even on? Why is my mouse... I hate technology. I hate it. It has a mind of its own. People think I control my whole system. The hell you do. There it is. And then I lost my screen. That's hilarious. That is so funny. So that one had to go to sleep, so I got my mouse back. That doesn't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense. That does not compute. That's really... But see, I was just on the other camera. There's this camera. There's that camera. What time is it? It's 9:30 in the world. We don't even go by the clock. I just like... Mom's automatic clock. I should probably run to the store is what I should do. I gotta go get some things. My car still ain't right. But it just stalls. Sometimes it just dies sometimes. It never died before. And then I put like 10 grand in it and now it just dies sometimes. But it looks hella dope. I have nice little running boards on it. I want to get Mom out to get up on the running boards and to try it out and to get some fresh air and stuff like that. But I swear it's like I have like bursts of energy in the morning and then I get up and I get her breakfast. It's something to eat and have our morning routine a little bit, and then I don't got no juice. It's fucking Pisces season, man. Like, my flow just stops. It just... Fuck. It's like this every year. Every fuck... And then what happens is, then we got my birthday that comes up, where then it, like, all this Aries, and I'm sick about it. I'm fucking so sick about all this Aries, because I just have an Aries sun. That's it. I got a couple of... I think my Neptune is in Sagittarius. And one of my nodes are Sagittarius. I think. Where's my screenshots? Photos. I have a whole ass... Oh, is that Luna out there still? Oh, Bino, I miss you so much, honey bear. Sun in Aries, Moon in Scorpio. My rising is Cancer. And see, my house system is all fucking jacked up too because I have Cancer in the first and second house. And then I have Capricorn in the 7th and 8th. It's just, God, I have all this. Do the right thing. I want to punch a bitch in the face. Sometimes the right thing is smacking a bitch. No, it's always keep your hands to yourself. Always keep your hands to yourself. Always keep your hands to yourself. I can say what I want, though. That's the only thing. You warm enough, little old lady? Are you under the blankets? For someone that doesn't move when they sleep, you move a lot. There, how's that? Is that better? Is that too... You need to fix... Here. Can you sit up for a sec? Here, is that better? I forgot to put your damn pillows down last night. Confounded, Ma. Whoops. I dropped the ball. She's so comfy, though. She is so happy. The fact that that woman has gone through the hell that she has gone through in her life, and she could still wake up not only with a smile on her face, she still has all of her own teeth. She hasn't even been to the dentist in 10 years. I haven't been to the dentist in 10 years. But we have our regimens. She has like calcium buildup. Uh-huh. The way I look at it, it's like enforcing her, it's like supporting her teeth, like, because she has such a tiny, itty, little bitty bird mouth. I have this ginormous, I have this big old, huge, ginormous mouth. I have a 4 fluid ounce mouth. I could drink a 12-ounce can of beer in 3 guzzles. Whoa. Yeah. I'm a pig. I am. I just consume things. And if they're good, I've eaten like at restaurants with people. I immerse myself in the food experience. And sometimes people immerse themselves in me having the whole food experience. I've had men that have gotten mad at me because I wouldn't go home with their wives after having dinner. Stuff like that. Like, people are so weird. I am the least sexual being. That's why I think it's a serious thing. Because it all starts out with cutesy little, funny. But then it escalates. People that are never told no and don't know self-control and restraint, they get to a place where they're wired, I'm gonna do what I want, I'm gonna do what I want, I'm gonna do what I want. And if you get the grace enough to grow old in life, basically you see people that digress to who they are when they were little kids. So if they're that little freaking ant frying with the magnifying glass piece of shit, I've known all kinds of weird people that would tell me, like, why would you even, okay, that you do that is one thing, but why would you tell me that you dug a hole, buried a cat up to it and then ran over, like, what, like, ew, like, and these were stories I'd heard in the military, and I would catch dudes that would, like, this one piece of shit, I caught him with the pressure washer in the wash rack, and he was spraying something in the wall, and I walked in and I just told him to stop, and I walked over the wall. I cut the power off his pressure washer so he couldn't use his little fucking toy, and I looked in the wall, and that fucker was pressure washing a little baby bunny. And I'm like, oh, you're our defender, you're the protector of America, you're the man. Like, fuck you. Why don't come over here? You can't do that to people because that people could die. You can't put, like, it's pressure. It's stupid. Oh my God. The human race slow to a stroll. Like, I lit that fucker up. That's what I was like the police in the military. I was going around like, that's a stupid thing to do. Why are they spending $25,000 every year on cherry red furniture for 3 people that are never in an office upstairs? But we can't get parts for our generators. Why? Because America is a show. They dress people up to act like we're really important and that we have to go over there and do things that we never have to do. And then sometimes the people go over there and do things and actual people die, which is bullshit. Because it's just their weird rituals. It's just all rituals. It's just guys being guys. I go out in the world. I have a hard... I'm like, Marge, are you one of those people that are having a hard time figuring out who the good guys and the bad guys are? It is getting hard for me to figure out when I go out in the world, like, who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? I just see a bunch of assholes with guns because of a second... They care more about the Second Amendment than the fucking first one, so what do I got care? And it's all psychologically extensions of butt stuff. It's all about butt stuff and control and dominance and power. This man is my land! Little slap ass. America's a perverted place. My family are a bunch of perverts that were part of the fucking founding fathers bullshit. All of it. It's all bullshit. It's all queer fucking weird shit. God don't want you to do none of that stuff. None of that stuff. God don't want you to do none of that stuff that people are out there doing right now. God don't want you to throw your family away into an institution where they're charged 10, 12 grand a month and they can't even make their own fucking smoothies. Like, and ain't nobody else making them anyway. Like, there's a lot easier ways that people want to live. There's a lot better ways that people want to live. And we don't even have the opportunity to live those ways because we're too busy supporting Zionic fucking storyline bullshit in places that we will never go to, that we don't give a fuck about. And then have parades about it. The Olympics is a joke. The fact that that's just misappropriation, more misappropriation of funds. You think in certain terms of money spent on that bullshit? And the thing is so funny is that people aren't even qualified to do these things. That's like, so you have these people, I'm going to go out and do this stupid shit. And then they're like, oh God, I don't drink milk and nothing. Or, you know, I just go around, drink a bunch of, and so bones are shattering. Like, the fact that people make me watch them do gross things to themselves, it's amazing. I don't have resentments all over the world for that. You know, all the times people sat on a bar stool, had a drink, and now they're all heart diseased and stuff, and decrepit and gross with their fabby neck fake. You know, it's all bleh. It's all people that gave up. I'm looking for people that just kept doing the work the whole time. Where are they at? Where are those homies at? No, they're just everybody just set up in their beds, their king size beds, freaking watching Netflix and talking trash on the internet. At least whenever I go out, there's always ways to make the world a better place. Whenever you, and I don't even leave the house very much. But whenever I go out, there's always like garbage to pick up someplace. There's always something that people can do to make things better than the world was before they go out. But look at the mentality that people are just self-absorbed. There's somebody else that'll clean it up. It's somebody else's problems. And somebody else, somebody else will pick it up. Somebody else. I'll be on this ski slope. If somebody else can take care of that. Somebody else. So I have to wear these things so I don't have to hear the somebody else. Because I'm always the fucking support staff. I've always been the somebody else. And it's like, why don't you fucking slacker bitches fucking pick up the slack and do gross shit sometimes? Because they're too important. All that shit is for somebody else. You can all suck my decorum. Suck my decorum. This whole country is a joke. I saw all that stuff in Mexico that's going on and stuff. that they say is going on. It never impacts me. Every time I see something on a screen, it's just like another story. You know what? That stupid show they're bringing back. They're bringing back that stupid show, The Rockford Files, if you can believe that. I learned about machismo. That is like machismo 101. Our civilization is collapsing in 2026 because fucking assholes like my brother that were born in the 70s watched that show when they were 3 years old. But see, I watched that show too, so I always got the perspective of like, dude, this guy's he's a pretty much a lecherous creep, but that's cool. Just another dude trying to get it in. Like, he ain't a righteous man. He's just another part of the bro club that try to, do as I say, not as I do crew. That guy, he sold his soul a long time ago. Because he stands with the great men that all sold their soul too. How many women had their freaking unsuspecting times with those guys because they thought she was a hot piece of meat and they don't care if she don't want to. They're going to do it anyway because fucking don't you know who they are? And that's American Machismoville. Everybody's brothers, uncles, dads, nephews, fathers. My dad is a lech like that. He's a creep, dude. I knew I didn't ever had to see him again. It was my 40th birthday trip. We were going down Grand Canyon, Colorado River, on a rafting trip, Western River Expeditions. I think they book out like a year. I'd do that again. I'd go the 7-day, and I'd go wander off more often too. I'd be like, I would ask more questions and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool operation. Anyway, so my dad was like, my brother, we were sitting around on, like when we set up camp and had they put their cots by each other, and I'd always go off by myself. I don't like being like, I'm like proximity person. And so my brother said, so Dad, you got a milestone birthday coming up. You're going to be 75 in a couple years. You're going to be that's wow. Like, what do you want to do, Dad, for that? And my dad is so creepy. I've had to make allowances for this fucking creep my whole life, and then I quit when I was 12. Because I don't got to put up with allowances, the perverts. And he says, "Oh, I don't care as long as I'm having sex." And I was just like, that is the fucking creepiest, grossest fucking thing I ever heard. And I just said, well, I guess I won't be spending your next birthday with you, or your next milestone birthday with you. And I went over to my tent and picked up my camera and started playing with it because I just got a new camera for the trip. And I'm just like, my dad's a fucking scumbag. And I look at all the guys that out there that are just all scumbags. But I was just always the prude. I'm like, dude, you guys you're disgusting. Because I was always in male-dominated careers, understand. I was in the military, so I understand about... I hear what the faithful husbands... Dude, how many times if I had a square foot for every story I heard from Joe Blow, G.I. Joe Blow, that I was in the truck with, on how they just got back from deployment and all the ass that they got. And I'm just like, you're fucking married. Like, you people make me sick. And I'm stuck in a truck with them. Like, I have to do my job. And they're talking about how they got this piece of sweet ass. And I'm just like, I can't escape it. I can't. And it's like, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And then you have to go to cookouts and barbecues and stuff like that on the weekends with these people and their families. And then I'm supposed to sit there and then I watch how this guy interacts with his wife and how much he pretends like he loves this woman. But I was just in the truck with this guy and he's talking about fucking all these other people because he don't got no loyalty because he's just a pervert. And that's America. And then there's times of the year where I don't go out because when I see the city in Taos and they spend $6,000 for the 4th of July, and every time you gotta wave this, they buy like 20, 50 of these for the town square, and they're always new and they're always shiny, and it's like, dude, can I get $5,000? I won't waste it on stupid shit like this because they spend millions and millions of dollars on this project. Like 5 years. Like, it's so lame how stupid New Mexico is. And then, but you can't talk bad about it because they'll shoot you and kill you in the face at the grocery store because they're so proud. See, that's why pride isn't a good thing to have. It's not good to be like, you know, what do you mean the place that I was born, you don't see it wonderful in your mind? Yeah, because the illiteracy rate is 29% here. That's 1 in 3 people that can't read of all ages in New Mexico. That's like people should want to be able to know how to communicate with other people they're around. And if you can't read and if you can't write, well, that's just duh. Like, what good are you? If you can't read and write, you can't even think. You don't even know how to think. So you're just going to do what you're always told in the land of the stupid cousin. I just have to go out in the world and dodge how people... I'm not even helping people no more. My whole mission has just shifted gears. No, people have enough sense to all help themselves at this point. So I ain't going to go out and like, I ain't pulling people out of ditches. I ain't they should have AAA too. No, it's not that world anymore. It's not... No, some bitch fucking reverse polarity she hooked her shit up wrong on my battery and fucked my shit up. So no, I will not be using my things that I need to help other people. But here, have a fucking sticker and enjoy your day. Call your husband. How come he didn't fix this a long time ago? It's a really easy fix. Why are you stranded here to begin with? Where's your husband? Where's all these viable men that people told me I always had to listen to because they had a penis? That's what it always... You gotta listen to what I say. Why? Because you have a penis? Is that why? Does your dictator say I gotta do what you say I gotta do? Because last year America spent $4 billion on male enhancement drugs. On boner pills? That's why? Like, your shit don't work, but you're going to tell me you're a man. Oh, I'll be a man when I hold you down and do terrible things to you because I'll show you. Oh, okay, that's America. People, emasculated males, freaking imposing their will on women. Prisons are full of them. My brother's one of them. They fucking hate women because because we're the creator and they're the destroyer. We create things and they break shit. And it's not gender specific, understand that, because there's a lot of men with feminine energies that are more creative than I am, being a female with masculine energy. They just have like the mother's touch because of their energy field. I am more masculine. I am more the fix-it, the solution. I'm like, when people share things with me, I'm like, I'm just supposed to listen, right? I'm not supposed to say anything back. But I have all these things to say. But mostly people don't want to hear the things that I have to say. Because when I say things, then they have to look at themselves, because the things I say are things I've said to myself that I've had to look at myself and take accountability for my own actions. Every time I ever got in trouble is because I let myself my control, my desire to not control myself outweighed my desire to control myself. So I let my ego win. Easing God out. God says, don't drink all that drive. Don't want to have sex with this person, that person. Don't be a hoe bag. Don't do these things. But when I drink and I do that, then I'm like, let's do it. You know, but don't do that. So I don't do the things that my heart says and knows that I shouldn't be doing. And I'm surrounded in a society that people are just like, we live in Babylon. Taos is Babylon. Taos wants so bad to be like a regular town, like Pinocchio wants to be a regular boy. It even had its own suspicious package. A shooter in Taos. How is that any different than the guy that fucking stabbed his landlord's brother in the ear with an ice pick? Like, is that more dangerous or less dangerous? Or the people that always get fucking taken and like fined? Somebody Emily piked a kid here in Taos from the East Coast. His roommate from the army, his buddy, his war buddy. Yeah, I got annoyed with him. Didn't want to live with him no more. Wasn't in his right mind. Cut the kid up. Threw him along trash, like, threw him along the Highway 64, I think. Like trash. That's how you fucking make gross land. That's how you curse land. And all this shit happens, like, places like Taos that have been around forever never really got any better. Because the same generations fucking shit in the same holes for generations. Like, that like, born and raised don't create productivity. It's like how that one dude talks about how you can't create the same you can't solve problems with the same stupid cousin mentality that creates the problems that people have. That's a real nice way to say it. But hey, let's see. Let's go see what's going on in Sedona recently. Let's see what conferences in Sedona conferences upcoming. I will never go to Sedona. That place makes my third eye twitch. I mock Sedona and all the people that have their little bullshit there. Math question. Monday. What is that? How are they doing dates now? The 2026 Sedona Global Intellectual Property Conference. Let's see what this is about. I've had to go to the most bullshittiest conferences, not the fun kind of conferences. Like, when I worked at Creighton, they'd have me go to like women lunches of prestigious backgrounds and stuff. I'm like, none of these bitches were with me when I was on Creed or when I was, like, protecting mom or doing the hard stuff in life. Like, where were these women? They're all shut up in their offices, freaking getting blowjobs for those awards that they win. I don't know. I don't get awards. I used to get awards, but I don't suck dick, so I don't get awards no more. So these are the people. These are the people. I wonder if I've ever gone to AA meetings with these people. Let's look at their pictures. Sedona Global Intellectual Property Conference. So this is 6/9. So my first sober date was the 10th of June. So intellectual property. So basically I wouldn't say that this is an AI for AI conference, because when AI is involved, your property is not your intellectual property. It's all access granted to whoever wants access to it because they feel like it. That's AI. It's a self-will run riot environment. Trade secrets in global economy. How can companies project? Okay, where are we going down here? So we have the co-chairs. Brian E. Ferguson. I never trust dudes in pinstripe suits without lips. But this is the guy. King and Spalding LLP, Washington, D.C. So he's a frat boy, conference bitch boy. Okay, and then you have Paris, France, a mandolin, blah, blah, blah. Look at all these, like, what? None of these people have ever changed a fucking tire in their whole entire life. Yet they deem themselves David est Ameling. Like, what? Why? What lab rat is that? Oh, Melvley and Myers, LLP, San Francisco, USA. Like the world is a better place because all these people are going to gather in Sedona and in the same hotel and shit down the same plumbing. Plano, Texas. Brian E. Ferguson. Like, what are even people that wear these? My brother wears those. Like, they're not even real people. They are just a contrived person. They are little bits and pieces of what society made them to be. Chicago, Illinois. Honorable, not so honorable. Look at, he's not fucking honorable. What? How is Chicago, Illinois better off because this guy gets fucking direct deposit? Give me a break. Bunch of posers. Posers! Posers. Listen to what I have to say because I read a book once. Have you ever? I did my first. I blew the head gaskets, the head in my car when I was an 18-year-old girl, and I had help, but I had to swap those out. And I actually had a guy that like took it to the machine shop and like made it nice for me and stuff like that. So like, I mean, when I see these so many incapable people that have all this privilege from nothing doing nothing, look at his little fucking blue suit. Like, why are you wearing a little blue suit? You're a grown ass fucking man and you're wearing a little blue fucking velvet suit. What are you gonna do in Sedona and you're out on the tour bus and you get a flat tire? Are you gonna get out in your little fucking blue suit and help the driver change the tire of the bus? No, you're gonna just sit there because you don't want to get your little blue suit soiled by fucking red soil. Poser. Oh, another blue suit guy. An important blue suit guy. God, America's no better off because these people suck up the oxygen in the air. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scroll down here. Oh, let's look at the sponsors of these. Visionary level sponsor. Tinsingritity. It's all lawyers. Lawyers are the script writers of how society is. That's what lawyers are. My brother's a lawyer. He gets paid $240,000 a year from the state of California. It's like 126% higher than the average medium of what regular lawyers for the state. But he started out like 25, 30 years ago as a computer programmer. And then he figured out, oh, I am programming the back end of these computer systems. That's how the legal system creates society. And so he's a player of the fucking system, dude. He's a writer of the script. Either like they go military or Hollywood. And he had too much self-centered fear. He don't like scrutiny enough, so he likes to be behind the scenes. He don't want people to know that he's a scumbag, so he hides behind a persona that he's created to the point that he's thrown his own mother and sister away. That's why I'm not allowed to have like big things in life, because if his office, he used to brag to me about how his office exchanged letters with the office of the governor's office. Like, they exchange correspondence. I said, so you're basically 12, 13-year-old girls passing notes like in junior high. That's what you're telling me. But you're grown-ass men in suits going around saying this is how it needs to be when you shit on me, your sister, your whole life. And your mom too. Like, he's an abusive male. He fucking slammed my head. Like, he don't want people to know that he hits girls, and they all hit girls because they all have that one thing that you gotta say, and it flips a switch in their brain, and they're like, me man, and will impose me man on you. They all fucking got the switch because they all got this penis, and that penis, like, they gotta protect the switch because they particularly get really pissed off when you make fun about how they aren't a man, how their penises don't work, or how like sometimes I'll be like, tell me, huh? When's the last time you seen that thing without a mirror, huh? Cause when I look down, I can see my feet, eh? Can you, huh? What is it to be a man? I would think it's to be able to look down and see, oh, look, there I am, I'm a man. But look at all the men in America, they can't even fucking do that. They can't do that. They can't see their own wangs without a mirror. And they're going to flop their big old fat gut up on a table and be like, you gotta listen to me, man, because I'm a man. That shit fucking cracks me up. I just talk trash about everybody. Man, women, too. Me? Because I've acted like that. The times that I've been in uniforms, people fucking would make a hole. They always think I was an officer and I was an airman basic nobody. How funny is that? Because I always acted and presented myself because I'm my own authority and I don't need these little bitches. So when I go places, people legitimately make a hole and I'm a little bit nobody. Sometimes they'll stand in the way. Taurons do that a lot. I'll try to avoid them, but I don't know when other people are out. I just I need to go for a walk and get out my yayas. So I'll go out and I'll put on my music, and I'll set a stage there. It's nice and peaceful and stuff. And then you have fucking 8 stupid cousins standing on a sidewalk, and it breaks people's momentum. Stand where you do your group, but do it across the street in the park. It's a sidewalk. You're standing, there's a doorway to a business, and you're it's just people that only think about themselves are the most annoying kind of people. And high Touron in places that exist because people travel all over the world to come here to stand on a sidewalk and hold people up is it's amusing to me. But sometimes I gotta go out and I go for walks, and then I'll just come up on them and I'll Mego! I'll make it obnoxious because I think it's stupid that they're blocking foot traffic. So that's what they get. Suck it. Look at all these people this is all tax write-off. So this is what Sedona's and conferences is about. It's all these people that get to travel there and talk about bullshit that don't matter while people on the streets are freaking rotten. Their flesh is rotten. People can't get medical care any place. Ooh, luncheon sponsor, not Docket Navigator and Stout. Ooh, I bet they're gonna have a nice catered lunch. I should go over on the who caters in Sedona. So who gets the job done there? Registration fee, regular registration fee, $1,895. But if you're a member, it's $1,600. You get $200 off. If you're a government and nonprofit employee registration, it's only $1,295. I think I need to email these people. What do I get? What do I get? What do I qualify for? Give me all the free shit. I could be a fucking keynote speaker. When I worked that's how I learned about that law was just pages on a script is when I worked at Creighton University. I worked there one full cycle, so 4 years of freshmen coming in and then watching them and do all their stupid shit, get abortions, make bad choices. Or lie about abortions. I don't even know. People just lie about shit just to get time off. Who knows? Then having to do the LSAT for those fools? God, LSAT people? Oh my God. I could never, I'm not a typer. I disassociated too much. I got too much trauma. I'm not a typer. I took 2, in high school I tried twice. I just disassociate. And I never got the typing thing down. But my brother, he's the disassociator that has complete control over his faculties. See, I lose control over my thought process because I go in the no play space. And I navigate from there, from my higher self, and he always navigates from his lower self-serving lizard mentality. That's how I know how the evil's minds work, because I'm related to them. See? That's how they all wear the same pinstripe suits. They all wear the little tats. They're all the same because they all went to the same schools. They all go to the same luncheons. He went to McGregor Pacific Law School. And I was like, dude, I could never be a lawyer because they'd start the test and the whole room would just be like everybody typing. And my head would just be because all these people have different questions and stuff, and I just had to stand there against the wall for an hour and a half while they typed out their questions, and that's what, in case somebody had a problem with their computer or their connection or something. I was just always the little bitch. And those are the people that travel Sedona and want you to go to their conferences. But none of these people, you think any of those people's names I read off earlier have ever fucking changed a tire? You think they got a mom at home that I can only hang out for a couple hours because I got to get home, make sure mom eats and gets cleaned up and stuff. We got to soak feet today. Today's hair washing day. No, they just put their people in a home. That's why they got to charge so much for their conferences. Oh, I'm so ready to clown the whole world. Anyway. Ma, are you starting to wake up a little bit, lady? Little bit? Are you warm enough? Yeah? You want to get up? You want me to turn on the heater for you? You're so nice. You're the cutest little old lady in the whole world. How does that rate, Ma? You're nice. I might have to go out in the world today. Put on my jeans. I like pants with big pockets. I got a big old ass too. I used to date this girl and she said people like you with asses as big as yours shouldn't wear pockets like that. Like the stuff that people just have always said really mean. Like I would never say things like that are that mean. I just say different mean things. Like that was the same chick I had to tell her that I said, you know that the guy that you want to date, like it's not normal that you walked out of a hotel room the night you met him and he had his dick in his hand, right? Like, you know that's sexual assault. And the guy's a cop, and so he knows what on the books that say sexual assault, but he was a big important AA speaker. But that's okay for whole systems to support that. Like, that's why I quit AA, because I'm like, dude, it's all about fucking human trafficking and shit. Just, it's all Freemason shit, like my brother stuff. And I ain't putting up with their bullshit. I ain't playing, it's all, no. And anybody can think whatever they want about me. I'm a peaceful being. I've already proven myself to be a peaceful being. I think I'll wear Tucker today. I miss my Tuck. But he's always right there, Tuck. I miss you, honey bear. He's at the Rainbow Bridge. He's hanging out with my dead sister, Jessica. They're chilling. Anyway. I don't even know what time it is. I know Mom's going to want to get up soon. And I don't even think I have eggs. Or I think maybe I have 2 eggs left. Scratchy noses. Where's that hat? Did it just fall? My sister Jessica, her favorite song is in my headphones right now. I guess. I guess the lady that she was with before she died, she's the one that told me Die Bar Beauty Queen was my sister's favorite song. Good God, Virgo. That shit cracks me up. But we always hang out. She's always around me. She's not void of spirit in my proximity. Because when people die, the way I look at it is people die, and then their spirit goes out into the no place space, and then you got protectors that other people, so you shouldn't be messing with nobody. I really try not to mess with nobody. I don't. I just don't know why people have to infringe themselves on other people. Like, why? Like, I'll watch it. I'll see it in the produce department. Like, I can't go to bars and stuff like that because people just, like, intentionally trying to be somebody else, but they're trying real fast to figure out who the person that they want, the person that they're engaging with wants them to be. It's just a big game. I'd rather go out and garden. Huh, Mom? Sounds better, huh? More fun? I'm trying to find a place for me and Mom that we can have a garden and not care about what happens. Because you just always got to get up and make sure the vegetables get water. Clean water. You know how many people are going to have that experience that I had several years back of not having access to clean water? It's not fun. Like, I haul our drinking water. And I do 5 gallons, and that usually lasts us about 3-4 days. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I don't know. Since all the dogs died, I don't go through it as fast. But we drink like special ionized, the good stuff that's good for your body. And I just think in terms of how many people are just so sick about their lives because they don't even hydrate their bodies proper, the way it's supposed to be hydrated. People don't drink. God, I still have a freaking knot on my head. Still.
Still, I did that over a week ago. Good Lord. I had never cracked my head open. Knock on wood. My brother did it twice before he was 11. He has a scar because he didn't learn his lesson. I learned my lesson. I see the dangers of things. And people get so caught up in their feelings, they don't see the potentials of the accidents in which they create. And where I live, it's straight up bumper cars out there. People are like legit hitting other people in their vehicles with their vehicles. That is just warped to me. That is so weird. Anyway.